Hi guys, so today I'm doing a book haul video because I've gotten quite a lot of books these past couple weeks. Some I've bought myself and some that were given to me. So I'm just going to review what I've gotten, and some of the books that I've gotten are actually kind of special because they came from my grandfather's house and some of them belong to my late grandmother. And I was very close to her, so it was really important for me and very special for me to actually come home with a copy of one of her favorite books. So I'm going to start off with some books that I got at my college bookstore. I'm in a British literature class right now, and we've been reading a lot of Jane Austen and some of the classic British literature. And we just finished reading Northanger Abbey, and it was actually really good. So I wanted to see what else I could find in the bookstore to actually take home with me, and I actually found 3 classic books for a really good price. The first one's Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. The next one's Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. And the other one is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This is actually being read in another British literature class, but I'm not in that one. But these are all the books that I'm basically supposed to read at my age. But I really like what I've been learning in British literature, so I'm wanting to actually read these books for fun. So hopefully I won't be disappointed and completely bored. The next books are books that I got from my grandfather's house that he let me take home. So my grandfather has this humongous library in his house, and it's really as big as the bottom level of my house. He's got shelves upon shelves of classic books, sometimes even double copies. So I'm pretty convinced that I got my reading skills from him. So he had a couple of copies of books that he didn't feel the need to keep because he already had copies on the shelves. So he allowed me and my mom to take some home, so I took a couple home with me. The first one I took home is Vanity Fair by W.M. Thackeray. The next one is another Bronte book. It's Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. He says I need to read that because he knows I love to read romance, so he thinks I'll like that one. The next one is The Last of the Mohicans by James Fenimore Cooper. And the next one is The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. These are really just books that I've heard of that you're supposed to read at my age, that you should have already read at my age. And I really want to expand my horizons with literature, so I'm really wanting to read classics just to see what writing styles were like back then before we had all these other writing styles that we have in the present time right now. So I really want to learn more about it, especially since my degree is English and I want to work in publishing one day. I just want to see what it was like before we had all these writing styles of like dystopian or fantasy that we see a lot of lately. The next book is really special because it was a favorite of my grandmother's because of the binding. It's Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and she liked the white leather binding and the gold pages. This was one of her favorite copies, and my grandfather actually let me keep this one. He does have another copy that she liked. It had like a velvet flower design for the binding, but this one I think is really pretty. There's also some images, and I'm afraid to open it because it's in very, very good condition and I don't want to crack anything. My grandfather says that the leather binding is as it is. You know, if I open it at a certain angle, it won't crack or anything, but I'm still going to be very, very careful with it because this belonged to her and I really just don't want to ruin it. The next book we have, you might have seen on my Instagram, is Peter and Wendy. This is a 1911 copy and was given to my great-grandmother on Christmas of 1925, I believe. Sorry, 1924. But every time I go to his house, I look through his library because I just love to look at all the books. And I found this copy and another copy, and I grabbed this one, and as I was flipping through it, I realized a lot of the quotes were what I've heard in the Peter Pan film from 2003, which is one of my favorites because it focused a lot on Peter and Wendy. And in my opinion, Peter and Wendy are just one of those meant-to-be couples. They, they had that little spark, even though he was a boy who would never grow up. And in the end, she did grow up. But I really want to take this home because I love Peter Pan. I have a copy, a Barnes & Noble copy of Peter Pan myself, and I really wanted to add to this collection. And it took some convincing to let my grandfather give this to me. He did say he had a picture book of Peter Pan that he had when he was about 8 years old, and he was like, I can pick one or the other. I saw the picture book and I just wasn't into it because some of the images that were there are in my original copy right now. So I really wanted to take this one home just because of how old it looks and how preserved it is, and I just wanted to take good care of it and just keep it on my shelf. So these next books, some of them I bought and some of them were actually mailed to me. A couple days ago, I received a package from Scholastic and they sent me Almost Autumn by Marianne Curran. It comes out January 3rd, 2017, and it's actually been a while since I requested this book, so I kind of forgot that I requested it until it came in the mail. So I'm actually excited to read it. It takes place in Oslo, Norway in 1942. So I'm sure there's a lot of German and Jewish conflict going on in this book, but I'm excited to read it just about the female lead and see where her journey goes. The next book I bought myself at Walmart because I couldn't find it anywhere else, and it's The Fever Code by James Dashner. It is the prequel kind of final book in the Maze Runner series. Basically talks about how the maze was created, and I'm pretty sure we get to see some old characters in this book too, so I'm excited to see that. The next book was mailed to me a couple weeks ago as well. It was sent to me by another blogger who reviewed it herself, and it's how the author is sending around the advanced copy. She's sending it to bloggers, who send it to other bloggers. So it's not a copy I can keep, but it's something that I wanted to read, and I'm glad that the author actually let me read it. It's called Saving Hamlet, and it's by the author Molly Booth, and it comes out November 1st. And it's about this girl that actually goes back to the original production of Hamlet. And of course there's romance and there's a lot of drama. Of course, Hamlet is a drama. But I'm excited to read it because there's just a lot of stuff going on in this book apparently. Like the back cover says, like drama club, time travel, love, quadrangle, gender reversal. So I'm really excited to dive into this book. The next book I bought because the cover looked so amazing, and I was just eager to read it because it looks like my kind of book, and it's actually Moon Chosen by PC Cass. She's also the author of the Mark series, which I haven't read, but the cover and the description just looks so amazing, and it basically talks about these people and their animals that are like their counterparts, and there's a lot of mysterious things going on. There's fantasy, there's magic. So it's something that I definitely want to read soon, and it's so big. I like big books, and I cannot lie. So this last book I did by myself, which is also kind of weird because I did have the advanced copy as an ebook, but I didn't really think it was a good book to read. It's Crosstalk by Connie Willis, and I wanted to pick it up because after reading the summary again on the flap, it actually sounded pretty good, and the reviews on Goodreads were actually really good. So I kind of beat myself up for not actually reading the advanced copy. So I'm actually lucky they had it at my school bookstore of all places. So I bought it for myself because it just seems like an interesting read. It seems like something I would like. So I'm sorry that I didn't read the advanced copy, and I will never forgive myself for doing that. So that's about it for my book haul. I probably won't get another big book haul like this until around Christmas time because I am broke. Actually, scratch that. My book haul probably won't be until after Y'all Fest because I'll be going there in 2 weeks. I will only be attending these Saturday events for the signings. I won't be going to any panels or anything like that because I can't really afford to get the tickets right now. I can only afford to do the hotel and the traveling. But I am going to film when I'm at Y'all Fest, and I can't wait to see all the other authors that I haven't seen in a while. Make sure to follow my Instagram, follow my Twitter, like my Facebook page, and go on my Snapchat. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!